5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're now tuned into the 411 podcast and reading Between the Wines, powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network. More than a podcast, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Here, we explore what it means to live debt-free, not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Every episode is part of a journey across our weekly mentorship series: Spiritual Sundays, Mental Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wind Down Wednesdays, Coaching Sessions Thursdays, and Financial Fridays. Each day holds space for wisdom, clarity, and real conversation. So grab your journal, pour your glass, and prepare to go beyond the surface. Because here, we don't just talk, we transform. And now, here's your guide through it all, entrepreneur, mentor, and founder of Black Diamond Consultations, Laren Gaines.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome on in. Welcome to Reading Between the Wines. What's going on out there? If you are out there, I want to say thank you so much for joining. If you could please do me a favor and please like, comment, share, subscribe, tag a friend, text a friend, invite them in, because you never know what you're going to get right here between the wines. Now, I want to say welcome to all of the new people. You know, this has been a journey this year, and I had some goals, and it looks like everything is coming out just fine, and a little more than expected as well. So I am so thankful for the new people who tune in. I want to say thank you. You can check us out on YouTube. You can on Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio, just to name a few. But I just want to say thank you so much to all of the new people. And the best thing that you can do is share this with someone. Share this because, you never know what someone can get from this. Now tonight, I am sampling one of my favorite wines, Dornfelder. This is a new brand, but the actual in itself, Dornfelder, is one of my favorites, and it's like one of my go-tos around this time. It starts to get a little cooler, so this is the right fit for it tonight, and I think this is going to work just well. So stay tuned for that as well. We have author Birdman 313 coming in as well. You know how we do here on Wind Down Wednesday. But before we move forward, I definitely will give a very special thank you to my executive producer. I want to thank God for giving me another opportunity to come out here and do what I love best. Like I said in the beginning, this has been a journey, and it hasn't been an easy one. I'll put it that way. I'm not saying that, it's just life. Just put it that way. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Please go ahead and share this podcast with. That's the best way you can help support, just by sharing, liking, and let me know where you calling from tonight. But this has just been a journey, and I realized that I just got to stop playing. I got to stop playing. I got to come out here, and I got to just be my true, authentic self and just be me. And that in itself, it took me so long to get to this point in my life where I can say who I am. Before, I did not know who I was. And sometimes I just got to be like, it's cool. It's cool to just come out and just do what you do. So I thank y'all, and I'm just going to continue to do what I do the best way that I know how to do it. And I couldn't do it without, my fellow friends who support the show. All right. Now that I got that out the way, because that's been something that I wanted to bring tonight. You're gonna get a different side of me as we continue to move forward and continue to evolve. It's just gonna be different. As they say, it's just gonna hit different. So I want to go ahead and give a little recap. I got so many things to discuss tonight, and I'm gonna take my time, but to go ahead and give a recap of what we discussed last week. I realized that so many people write in. And these people that write in, these people that text me, these people that DM me, listen, we're all interconnected. Sometimes you could be, as I'm reading some of these things, as I'm going through these assignments, as I'm going through these scenarios, sometimes it's like staring in a mirror, looking at the younger version of myself. So this is why I do what I do, because I have an obligation to just give, help somebody else heal, help somebody else go break through, help someone else break through from something that I've been through. So we had Mario from Houston, Texas, divorced for 3 years and finally started dating again. Right there. Ladies and gentlemen, please be careful, because it seems like history continues to repeat itself. Stick around long enough and you'll find out as we go through tonight's scenario. But when you are coming fresh off of something, sometimes the best thing that you can do is just sit back and heal. Spend time with yourself, get to know what you don't like, what you will put up with, what you won't put up with the next time around. But when we don't take that time to heal, we stunt our growth. And then we end up putting up with people, places, things that don't serve us. And the most difficult part, and I'm being very vulnerable, is when you know better, you're supposed to do better. When we know that God would not be pleased with some of our actions, some of our decisions, some of the people that we hang out with, some of the things that we do. And sometimes we get in a way, our ego, our pride gets in a way thinking that we know better. In a minute, as they say, hits the fan, right? Who do we run back to and start crying and begging and praying and asking forgiveness? A lot of the things that we go through in life sometimes is because of us. We can point the finger and blame it all many different people. This one did it, all the way down to our family members, friends. But in reality, look yourself in the mirror and say, what role in this situation? If you want to check out that replay, again, you're going to find out how Mario, 42, being divorced after 3 years, into what he thought was a relationship, a good relationship. And it seemed like the other individual wanted something different. Check out that replay. Head on over to you. Again, I'm not here to give any advice. Guess is not here to give any advice. We're basically giving our opinion, real life situations, and listen, I don't know who I'm speaking. I'm just speaking from real life experiences. So check out the replay. Now, this interesting one. You know, this is one of my favorite parts of the show. Song of the day. As I'm going through this, I'm like, oh, this song, it's powerful. But when it hit, powerful in so many different ways. It was powerful as far as keeping me stuck when I was younger, but now powerful to the point where, like I spoke earlier, when you know better, you do better. I can only give it the way I know how to give it. And I know it might offend some people. Some people may not like them. It is what it is. I just have to come with it. Song of the day. Love Don't Live Here Anymore by Rose Royce. Released in 78 off of the Strikes Again album. Y'all know this record. It's been remade by so many people. Madonna remade it. Faith Evans featuring Mary J. Blige. I mean, and there's even more after that. This is a powerful, popular song. It starts off, "You've abandoned me, love don't live here anymore." But the question that I have to ask is, did they really abandon you, or did you abandon yourself? Or did you temporarily abandon the love that you have in order to go ahead and please somebody else? Again, I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from experience. And then it goes on, "Just a vacancy." Now, see, this line would always trip me up when I used to listen to this record on a regular basis. We should never get to a point in our life where we say that it's just a vacancy, because today I'm filled, and we should be filled with the love of God before anything. Never should we go around saying that who we are, what we have, is just a vacancy. And the more and more that I think about the lyrics in this record, this is just a record altogether. And I used to listen to it a lot. This is a prime example of when someone has made man a god. When you put so much power, you put so much time, you put so much energy into somebody else, another human being, you are basically making them a god, putting someone else to the fact that they can get you to sing and recite and tap into a record like this. It's amazing what love people, especially when our minds and our hearts are not aligned properly. So I say, for those of you out there who remember this record, may have sang along with this record, may not even realize that you might be in the same type of situation emotionally, I just want to say that it's time to get your power back. Reclaim your fame with the Most High. And remember, there is a lesson in this record. When someone does walk out on you, the best thing that you can do is let them go. And I know it's not easy. When someone walks out on you, let them go. That's basically them doing you a favor. And this is the thing when I spoke about when someone abandons you. Did they really? Secretly, they're probably doing you a favor and you just don't even realize it. See, it was so hard for me to realize this. The only thing that I have to say today is, when you know who you are. When you know who you are, you know whose you are. And it will become that much easier for you to recognize and understand and know what to put up with the next time. But it's difficult for us to understand and know who we are when we don't take time to learn the lesson in between these breakups, in between these shakeups, in between these arguments, in between these disagreements, in between whatever is out there for you. When it happens, again, I'm only speaking from experience. I don't know who I'm speaking to, but today I learned to take some time. I learned to I learned to ask questions, but most importantly, ask the questions within self. What is it that I'm supposed to learn out of this experience right here, right now? What is it, God, that you are trying to teach me about this situation, about this individual? What role did I play? Was these the best person in this situation, or I even think about pointing a finger and blaming somebody else, what role did Laren play in this situation here? And importantly, now that I learned this information, I know that there's going to be another test. I know that there's going to be another trial. But most importantly, the best thing that I can do is to study and prepare and make sure that I'm ready to pass this test, because it ain't easy. New levels, new devils. So today, love don't live here. Rolls Royce strikes. What did I say? I gotta get this album. Strikes Again album. There we go. 1978 over the Strikes Again album. I was gonna say Strikes Back, but it's Strikes Again album. So, all right. Yeah, it's one of those. I think it's just this season, and 2025 has been restoration for me. But sometimes we just gotta clean some things up. We gotta clean some things up, and we gotta stop pointing fingers, and we finally gotta just get right with self and say, okay, so what are we doing here? And that's where I'm at right here in my life. Like, I'm just not playing games no more. I understand, and I know what I need to do. So sometimes you got to get with yourself and be like, okay, so when we gonna do it? Like, if you know what you need to do, when are you gonna do it? And listen, it's October. A couple more months, we're gonna go through this regular routine journey of Happy New Year. So how about we just start focusing on what we need to clean right by ourselves now? Do we really need to wait until January? Anyway, so tonight I'm gonna be sampling Dornfelder, but this brand is Schlink House, so the German wine. And that's basically what I have to say. It's a true German wine, and that's where the Dornfelder grape generated from, is from Germany. So that's where we're going tonight. But before we begin sampling, I want to remind everybody that Black Diamond Consultations and Reading Between the Wine encourages responsible drinking at all times. Please be mindful that alcohol affects your spiritual. Like I say before, they don't just call it wine and spirits for no reason, but consuming alcohol affects your spiritual, mental, physical, and financial well-being. Irresponsible habits can lead to harmful consequences in each of your life. So enjoy the experience, savor the flavors, and know your limits, because best memories are made when we sip responsibly. So we have Schlinkhaus Dornfelder, and this is a sweet red wine, and it is from the region of Germany. And excuse me if I'm not pronouncing this properly. I did not go to my high school senior trip to Germany. I didn't make it. However, I did get a good grade in German. I got an A, and I ended up getting an F in Spanish. So explain that to me. An A and an F in Spanish. So Nahi, the Nahi region of Germany. This is made from 100% Dornfelder grape. Average price of this bottle is approximately $12, and the alcohol content is anywhere between 8 and this says 10%, and I'm checking the bottle right now, and this is 8.5%. So there you go with that. Not too strong, but I will say that if it's sweet and it has a low alcohol content of 8.5, you got to be careful, because you can end up consuming a lot. Appearance is going to be dark. That's one of the first signs of it. There's going to be a real ruby red color. The aromas off it is going to be sweet red berry fragrance, such as cherries, blackberries, you might plum, and some people have described it smelling like candy. When it comes on the palate, this is a slightly sweet red with a soft gins and good acidity for balance. Flavors include ripe blackberries and a refreshing finish that keeps the sweetness from becoming heavy. And that's very important. And another thing that will help as well, which we're going to get into the next section, bit chilled. If you ever have a wine that is like extremely sweet, one thing that I've learned is just turn the temperature down. Turn the temperature down. If you keep the temperature, the sweeter that it's going to get. This pairs well with desserts such as dark fruit, cherry tart, cherry cobbler, one of my favorite, fruit tart. And this will probably go so well with that. And I just had a fruit days ago, and at this moment, this is where I could use that fruit tart. Had no idea. I'm going to go off topic real quick, but I had no idea how amazing fruit tarts were. I didn't discover it until 2022, and I've been on this planet all this time. I'm like, dang, I've been missing that. That's what that's like. All that fruit on top of that. It's amazing. Pairs well with soft cheeses as well. Creamy brie. Not a fan of that cheese. Just want to let you know. Mild blue cheese. That might be interesting to test that out. But whoever likes brie cheese, I want to know what you like. What's so great about it? It's just my opinion. Pairs with light to medium dishes such as, anything that could enhance or sweetness. People have well with barbecue ribs, anything that has like a sweet glaze, sausage, red onion, jam, or even a casual pizza. Now that is an experience there that I can witness and say, I know what you're talking about. But wine and pizza, that's different. Overall, Dornfelder is a good alternative to a sweet white wine. So if you're used to white wine and you want to try something different, you want to try red, I highly recommend Dornfelder. Dornfelder is a relatively modern German red grape variety, which was first bred in 1955. This is used to produce deep colors, and Schlinkhaus uses it as a sweet red style rather than a typical dry red. The Schlinkhaus winery uses loamy, sandy, and slate soil in the Nahe region, and in their sweet Dornfelder, they list a fermentation time of 8 weeks. So it takes them about 8 weeks to generate this wonderful body of wine. And out of 5 stars, this wine is rated 4 out of 5. This wine offers a fun, fruit-rich, and approachable red style with good balance, ideal for those who are sweet and fruity reds rather than heavy tannic ones. And one review says, excellent sweet red wine, the right balance and sweetness. The taste is refreshing. And we are going to see exactly how that lines up. I want to say cheers. Thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of Reading Between the Wines. The Dornfelder. But for those of you who know what the classic Dornfelder bottle looks like, again, these are some German wines, so I can't really, tell you exactly what the brand is sometimes when it comes to the German wines. This is a good one, but I will tell you it does not give you that distinct Dornfelder taste that you get from the classic bottle. Right now, I would just describe this as just drinking a red wine. Like if I had the bottle and saw Dornfelder and this was just on a table in a glass or in a plain bottle, when I would take a sip, I wouldn't be like, this is Dornfelder. It would just remind me of just a sweet, basic red wine. So I'll give it a 4-star. It's good wine. It's not bad wine, but I'll just say like right in the middle. So we'll just go with maybe even a 3.5 because again, it's not bad, but I want that distinct, like, oh, that's the Dornfelder grape. And this just did not give me that. Would I purchase this again? Honestly, no, because when I drink Dornfelder wine, you want that distinct aftertaste that lets you know what's really going on. But again, not a bad wine. Probably would not purchase it again. I'm gonna try it one more time just to see if I get that distinct aftertaste. But from the first few sips, I just didn't get it. Yeah, it's different. I don't see it, but not a bad wine. But and on that note, we're gonna go ahead and bring in my special guest, author Birdman 313. What's going on? How are you?
All right, hey man, uh, you got somebody that was smiling over here when you was talking about the German wine because she is a German descendant, but her dad made the wine, and when you said it, nah, but then you took another taste, I'm saying he likes it.
It just don't. No, I like it, but I'm saying I won't pour it out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
But I just don't get that distinct. Like ask does she know the bottle of wine that I'm talking about? The red bottle of wine,
no,
the red
she don't
label.
she don't drink, man.
Oh, okay, okay,
Oh,
okay,
yeah, her dad made it, but she don't drink.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Hey man, what you
But a
know about
lot of
Rolls Royce, man? You going back to
okay,
my
so
days when we used to jam off of Rolls Royce.
okay, so I'm gonna tell you. And again, people who know me, they're gonna say, but it is what it is. I just can't. So what I know about Rolls Royce is Mary J. Blige. That's how I found out about it from I'm Going Down when I was 12 years old. And now research, I said, oh, okay, so that who sings it. And then my mom would always say, what you know about that record? Just like you said, I said, but that's Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
My mom would be like, well, I can't tell. She sang it so good. And yeah, if anything, Mary J. Blige stole that record from them because she sounds better than them. That's just me. I think, listen, she sounds better than them on that record. But a lot of times people thought that I was playing a Rolls Royce record, but that was that. But for this record, Faith Evans actually remade this song for J. Blige, and that's one of the reasons why I used to play it a lot. And then as I started looking at these lyrics, I'm like, oh man, what the was I thinking playing this joint young like that? That's crazy. Nobody should even subject themselves to this record, but I'm just saying. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Okay, that's where you feel.
No, I'm just saying, like, don't ever like get. I mean, now that I know what I know today, like, you don't give up
Yeah.
your power, given that whatever situation that much energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I look at music different today, and some people don't even want to be around me when I'm listening to music because I'll pause it and be like talking to the record like, "You serious? You feel that way? Because I don't." But all right, I'm cool with you.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We couldn't sit and listen to music then.
I'm not taking. I just don't energy from because you got to be careful. You listen to these records, and your subconscious mind sometimes has no idea. I'm not gonna say sometimes. Your subconscious mind don't know whether you playing, don't know whether you joking, don't know whether it's your voice, the record playing. It just starts downloading stuff.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
gotta be careful about the things you listen to, the people you hang around, because the minute they sleep, your subconscious mind is like, okay, let's make it work.
Okay.
I heard was requested. Let's put it into action. Let's go.
Okay.
So, as we start off the show real deep like that, what, what's going on in your world?
Oh, nothing. It's just we still dealing with. It's not humid hot, So being in the 80s, it's very comfortable. So I'm still wearing shorts,
Mm.
t-shirt. It'd
Mm.
be like that for a while until it started dropping down in the 50s and 60s. Then hey, I got to come out them shorts and t-shirts.
Well, I've came out of the shorts like almost 3 weeks ago, and today I had. Let me count. Let me see. 1, 2, 3. I had 4 shirts on today. Shirts on
Okay.
today. 2 pairs of pants. I didn't. I didn't do the I didn't do the 2 pairs of socks yet. I started myself with the 2 pairs of socks. I didn't do that yet. But let me tell you, yesterday I could have used pairs of socks because it was cold yesterday morning.
Wow, man.
Like in the like 40, 50s, yeah, 50s yesterday morning. Today was more so like 60s.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
And I get up and I do a walk. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, Tuesday I was like, wow, it's really cold out there. I broke out the gloves because Tuesday it was super out the gloves today, but I didn't really.
Wow, man. Okay. That's all
Yeah.
I can say is okay, man. I mean, I mean, it has to be a little bit.
Right.
It has to be like in the low 40s and 30s before I go that extreme.
What? Oh no, I'm when it hits 50s, I'm like, let's go. We gotta stay warm. Peace.
Oh,
It
okay.
looks like we might have lost some connection, but
No, I'm
we got
still here.
just bear to the connection. Yeah,
Oh
it's been
yeah.
something going lately, but it is what it's
Oh
when it
yeah.
comes to the connection. But we still rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So let's get into this money hacks. I want to get into the money hacks, but I do remember you saying, we wanted to do. People were asking, can we do more of the general topics, what's going on in the world today? So as I continue to learn things, I will
Uh-huh.
bring it podcast. One thing that I've learned is that, and excuse me, but I this is what I heard, and correct me, but with this government shutdown, with stuff that's going on, potentially 40 million people on food stamps could lose their benefits.
Yes. Yes.
That's
They're
what
they're
that
they're
was very
saying that,
disturbing.
if they don't hurry up next month, people it'll be starting next month. Me and my son we was talking about that earlier today. He called me and we was talking about that, and I told him, I said, yeah, man, I said, probably gonna have to start gearing up, going to these food banks. I said, hey, there was a time when that it would it, I used to be ashamed to go there, but hey, man, when the belly go to calling on you, there ain't no shame.
Hmm.
You got to put that aside, man.
Mm-hmm. And I also another piece of information I picked up that they've already started cutting benefits in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And there's so much stuff that I got out of this today, and I'm just like, wow.
Well,
But it,
I tell you what didn't happen. A lot of people are really, really upset about it.
mm-hmm,
Is okay. The Montrose area is called the gay area. Okay, but anybody can go over there, and it has changed over the years, and it costs. Now, don't get me wrong, it costs to live over there. The houses are expensive. A lot of the area has been gated up to keep people from coming on property or going in certain areas. Well, they had a street, and the crosswalk had the LBG. I can't think of all the letters. Had the colors painted on the street, and our governor told them they had to remove the colors. And people are saying, but the colors wasn't bothering anybody. And then, of course, they have murals over in Third Ward because that's where George Floyd grew up at. They're talking
mm-hmm.
about possibly taking that down. And I mean, hey man, they've been on the news, they've been out on the streets, and I'm like, man, that is not bothering nobody.
Here's what I have to say, ladies and gentlemen. Hadn't had a warning before. This is enough. It's here. They've been talking about this for a long time. It's here.
Yeah,
So people need to be prepared. That's the only thing I can say is people need to be prepared. Things that aren't bothering nobody, taking down statues, murals, opening up things that were closed before for political reasons, whatever it is, race reasons, whether it's black, white, Puerto Rican, don't care. Things that you thought were in the past that were done and over with, and then you think that it's not going to repeat itself. I would caution against that. You need
and
to
you
be
know
prepared.
the biggest thing I always say is, see, the governor is doing this, and this is throughout the state of Texas, and I'm like, he needs to clean up Austin. Austin is the capital. Austin is trash. Anybody who been there, the streets of Austin is straight trash. But he wants to worry about other cities in the state of Texas when Austin Street is I'm telling you, man, I go up there. I only go to a few places, but when you ride down the road, it is straight trash now.
Nobody's safe. Can I'll
Yeah,
repeat this again. Nobody's safe. I don't care if you black. I don't care if you white. I don't care if you Puerto Rican, Asian, gay, straight, not this, that, they, them, whatever you want to say. Nobody's safe.
that's true. And it's just we see it here. Then I don't have to look on the news to see what's going on because it's
You see it
happening
right there. Yeah,
right here.
yeah. hmm and it's gonna happen in major cities.
Yes, of course,
Yep.
and it's just it's getting to be ridiculous, man. Restaurants are closing down, prices are going up, and they're steady telling, oh no, the
You
cost is not going up, the cost is coming down. I haven't seen it yet, man.
no, no. You said restaurants are closing because they
Yeah,
have no one going there, or they're closing out of fear.
both.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
it's just one. I've been eating a lot of Mediterranean food lately.
healthy
Yeah,
for you too.
healthy food. Yeah, and this one
hmm
restaurant we used to go to, you used to go there and can use your credit card. You can't use it no more. It's straight cash. And like I tell everybody, I said, hey, the cost is going up. They don't have that many. The traffic is not that heavy,
hmm
so they got to cut back. And they've been trying to. They want people to stop using cash, but if they, because every time you use your credit card, you're paying a fee for using that credit card. A lot of people don't know that. And, I mean, if people stop going and the restaurant or stores want to stay in business, they're going to have to take only cash. So, but how can
It's
they take only cash when you're trying to kill the cash?
I know it's interesting you say that because I forgot what restaurant it is, and excuse me if I'm saying the wrong one. I do believe it's like Shake Shack or something like that, but I could be wrong. In any case, it's a burger joint, put it that way. But
Yeah.
they accept Bitcoin now, and they are the first restaurant to coin that they actually have a Bitcoin burger. Look up the Bitcoin burger, and you'll find out exactly which restaurant I'm talking about if I have it wrong. But that's a game changer. Be the
Yes.
first to accept Bitcoin. So I have to just think to myself, what do you think's going to happen to the other ones? So for
Yeah.
all of the people who told me, Laren, that cryptocurrency, that's crazy. I don't believe in this. This is not going to happen. Blah, 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 blah. I would say keep my mouth shut and watch the show.
Yeah, they are trying to push Bitcoin. I don't understand it. I don't have the
I,
enough understanding of it, and or crypto or whatever you want to call them. And I get emails and messages every day, all day long about stuff like that. Oh, you can buy it with Bitcoin. Oh, you can buy it with cryptocurrency. Man, you know what? Well, since you said I can, I'm not because I don't deal with it.
I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Um, I I'll put it this way. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm a financial coach. I'm not here to give any advice. You need to do your own due diligence and your own research. But
Yes.
from my knowledge, just think of it as digital gold. Just think
Yeah.
of it as digital gold. Like when happens, the dollar value gold doesn't. God
Uh-huh.
on the earth. So that's the ultimate. I think that's the ultimate right there. God, gold was here before
Right.
and it's still here.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is that cryptocurrency sort of like digital gold. Put it that
Uh-huh.
way. So I'm gonna just leave it there. I know God said that gold is good. So if you don't believe in cryptocurrency, you don't see it, maybe you should invest in gold.
Uh,
I don't
I
know.
and I've been that's something I've been thinking about. Now that's I've been thinking about it, but I don't know which way to go. If
Well,
that
only
makes
thing I have to
sense.
say about gold is only thing I have to say about gold is that God created it. It's in Genesis. So
Yeah.
that's in the first book of the Bible when it kicks off. So if God says that gold is good, then I'm with it. So God is the source and money is the resource. I
Right.
heard that today. God is the source and money is the resource. So God created, he gives us the gold, the money, the Bitcoin, the stocks, the bonds. That's a resource, but the source comes from God.
Yeah.
So speaking of money, which I think about, sometimes I think I bore people when I talk about it is what it is. I
Oh, yeah.
find it exciting. I find it exciting because I learn new stuff every single day. Some people that be around me, I'd be like, I need to get around some new people because I need people to be excited about money as much as I am. But we in this money hacks book, so we got 1 to 275. What you got for? What number you got today?
22.
22. All right, let's see what we're gonna learn tonight. 22. Check your bank account. How much money is in your checking account right now? If you don't know the answer, it's time to set aside a few minutes each day to check on your money. Many banking and finance apps make this easier than ever. You can set up a notification to pop up at the same time each day with your balance. Start every morning with a reminder of your balance, and you're more likely to keep that amount in mind as you go about your day. If money is tight, a reminder not to overdraw your account. If your balance is flush, you can feel comfortable for the day and maybe to save a bit extra today. A little awareness each day, especially when you don't need it. Excuse me, a little awareness each day, especially when you don't even need to manually log into your bank account to check your balance, can go a long way in providing a financial peace of mind. So how do you feel about that with the alerts for your from your bank?
Oh, yeah. Well, some people need it. They really do. Because like I said, I do. I check my bank account at least twice a week. Everybody is not like that. Some people do it once every 2 weeks or once a month. Um, and I find myself if I don't check it, at least twice a week, then I start getting nervous about, maybe something done hit my account that I don't know about. But I
Hmm.
want to be aware where my money is going to.
Right. I do a deep dive once a week where I check over everything, and then that sort of like gets me on point for the next week.
Right. I do my
And
credit
that's
cards like that too. I check my credit cards once a week, or once a week to make sure, because there was a time when I had things hitting my account automatically, And matter of fact, I need to cancel something on one of my credit cards. I need to cancel it soon because
Good.
I don't use it no more because it's not beneficial, and that's Amazon Music. you
Oh,
know,
see Amazon. So that has to be like uh YouTube, Spotify, Tidal, all of those, right? That's a music app, right?
that's the music app, and they charge you. And if you buy music from them, you
Mm-hmm.
can't. That stays on there. If you cancel
Exactly.
your account, you lose that music.
So I do YouTube music, and they got me, and I say that they got me because I get every single record, every single album, every single everything, and you're right. You get all of that while you pay for that subscription, but the minute that you turn it off, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
Now,
And
now,
go
good.
ahead. Go ahead.
Now I would say now the other alternative go back in the day with the records and the CDs and the tapes, but I just find it to be just so powerful, so amazing, and so mind blowing that I have every single record, any artist, anything that I want right at my fingertips.
Yeah. Well, there was a time when you could because, you know, like I said, I had music on my tablets in my flash drive, and there was a time I had area a folder that says Amazon. That's when I could buy a CD and then send it over and put it on my computer. I can't do that now. And my youngest son and I, because he's good in computer and all that, and we talked about it, and he said, "Dad, you cannot take He said, even though you bought the music, it's not really your music.
Exactly.
And he said that you cannot take it off because I said I'm trying to get all my music off and put it onto my computer, and he said you can't do it no more. He said Amazon done changed it, and Diana's daughter told me that too. She said, you know what? Even though you bought it, you really
Right.
it's not really yours. Because I had got that new Ice Cube CD, and I've been listening to it, but I don't listen to the music on my computer all the time. It's mostly what I have on my phone. That's what I really be listening to because I can take my phone anywhere with me. I can take,
Exactly.
I can put a Bluetooth in the vehicle and I can
Exactly.
listen to it. And that's what I was trying to get. I was trying to get all that off Lenny Williams, all that Gladys, all that music. And I'm like, man, I spent all this money on these CDs,
Exactly.
and now I cannot take it with me.
So for me, when I say they got me, because I just don't, I just can't. I gotta have my music. That's one thing I'm gonna pay for.
Well, you know what? On my phone, I have over 6,000. So I ain't worried about running out of. I ain't worried about running out of music. I'll play the same old because this new music I really don't like. Be
Well,
honest,
you said the
and I
ice.
listen. I listen to old. Hey man, I listen to Ice Cube and 50 and Eminem. Their old stuff all day long, and don't care what other people think.
So I didn't know that Ice Cube had a new album out. So how is it?
Yes, it's been out. I don't know the name of it right now, but it's been out. When it first came out, the first week it came out, I got it.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah.
I know Snoop had one recently.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I thought about that when I said everybody thought. Actually, he did one with Dre, and then
Uh-huh.
he did another one after that. Now the last one I thought was much better than the one he did with Dre.
Uh-huh.
I was like, where Dre at? This just another Snoop album. I don't hear Dre on here at all.
Right, right.
But anyway. All right, so let's get into tonight's assignment now. If anybody out there is listening, again, we are just giving our opinion on it. We're not giving any. This is just, real life experiences, and we're letting you know what we think about it. If you have something different, please feel free to chime in. 609 200 1098. You can also drop comments. If you're listening to the replay, you come across it, let us know how you feel about it. So, tonight's assignment, dear reading between the wines. I've been in a long term relationship for almost 6 years, and lately I've started feeling like a tenant in my own love life, paying the emotional rent while my partner owns all the space. That is a deep line right there. I've started feeling like a tenant in my own love life, paying the emotional rent while my partner owns all the space. When we first met, he was ambitious, attentive, and made me feel safe. But somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. I became the caretaker, the planner, the one holding everything together. I paid the bills when he couldn't. I paid the bills when he couldn't encourage him. Wait a minute. I got to back up. I paid the bills when he couldn't. Okay, there we go. I forgot the little comma there. I paid the bills when he couldn't, encourage him when he was down, and even helped him start his business. Now that he's doing all that, it feels like I've been from my very home that I helped build. He's distant, secretive, and emotionally unavailable. When I bring it up, he says I'm ungrateful and that I should be happy. He's finally standing on his own. I can't help but feel like I made a bad investment, not in money, but in love. I thought I was planting seeds for our future, but it turns out I was just watering someone else's garden. How do I stop seeing my worth through what I've given? And how do I forgive myself for ignoring the red flags just to keep love alive? This is from Danielle from Chicago. I'm going to take it from the top. Dear reading between the wines, I've been in a relationship for almost, and lately I've started feeling like a tenant in my own love life, paying the emotional rent while my partner owns all the space. When we first met, he was ambitious, attentive, and made me feel safe. But somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. I became the caretaker, the planner, the one holding everything together. I paid the bills when he couldn't, encouraged him when he was down, and even helped him start his business. Now that he's doing well, it feels like I've been evicted from my very home that I helped build. He's secretive and emotionally unavailable. I bring it up. He says I'm ungrateful and that I should be happy. He's finally standing on his own. But I feel like I made a bad investment, not in money, but in love. I thought I was planting seeds for our future, but it turns out watering someone else's garden. How do I stop seeing my worth through what I've done? And how do I forgive myself for ignoring the red flag just to keep love alive? Danielle from Chicago. How do we feel about this?
That's 75% of relationships. That's how I look at it. First of all,
5%?
yes, because you know what? I've heard that so many times from either the man or the woman that the other person is like ignoring them, as they call it. And I've heard that. Well, that I'm just coming from me because I've heard it so many times. And you know, whenever I was working with people who felt like that, I just told them, "Hey, have you thought about changing some of the things you do? Like
Mm-hmm.
if you do the same thing daily, it gets boring, and sometimes that can that can ruin it. And then you got some people who, like it sounds like the guy is kind of on the selfish side, and he's not really paying attention to her no more. And it sounds like somebody else might be in his eyelid for a minute. And he
See?
thinks the grass is greener on the other side. That's what it just sounds like. It's something that he's not giving her or he's not telling her certain things. And if I found out through my relationships, if you don't let your partner know that you love them and appreciate them, they will feel abandoned.
Okay, I'm a interject. Sometimes I have to do this. So, can you just say that last thing? Like, if you don't let your partner know that you love them and appreciate them, I'm gonna jump in and say that somebody else will.
Yeah, I mean, you have to let your partner know because after being with somebody for if you with somebody for 4 or 5 years and you doing the same thing every day, eh, how they put it, it gets old and stale.
Hmm.
And you need to let that person know that you still love them and you appreciate them. And no matter what they're doing, they're helping you get ahead. Or it could be the fact that now he's on top. He don't feel like he really need her that much. I went through, you know what? I had to admit it because when I seen this, I was like, okay, I felt this way through my first marriage, and I didn't care what happened. Even though
Yeah.
we had 3 kids, I didn't care what happened. If she had walked out and said goodbye, I would have said bye bye. You know, and that was because of the fact is that I felt like she when the comment she made to me really made me feel that way when she said, "Oh, I need $80 every day in my pocket," and I'm like, "You need?" I said, "I don't even carry that much." She said, "This has nothing to do with you. This is me. This is what I need to be happy." Then I said, "Okay, I'm actually wasting my time here," but I had three
Yeah.
kids, so I'm like,
Right.
"Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna try to stick around as long as I
You
can
already.
put up with it." And then
Yeah. You already know it's a done deal.
yeah, and finally when it came to a head, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gone. I'm tired. There's no feelings here. Period.
That's the
We
worst.
we we wouldn't even doing anything together. Like when we sit on the couch, she sit at one end, I sit on the other, or she sit in
Mm,
another chair, or she'll go to the bedroom. And so then I knew I'm like, okay, this is a done deal here, Why? And then I start questioning myself and my sanity of why am I still here?
right. Right.
And
I,
I've had people talk to me about these things, and I tell them, I said, well, I
you,
said
you,
you got to look at yourself. I said, go look in the mirror, look at yourself, and is it something that you're doing or not doing? What was you doing when y'all first hooked up? Are you still
exactly.
doing it? And are you still doing it? If you're not doing it, try it. If that's not working, then hey, you know what? It's time to one of y'all to hit that door.
You, you know what is interesting is that when you're wrapped up and you're trapped up and you sign papers and you're legally binded to somebody,
Yes.
it ain't that easy. And
Yeah.
that is a trap. And that's a trap that I don't think that I'm willing to play that game no more. I'm
And
sorry because it gets to where listen, if somebody don't like you and you don't like them or you wake up and be like, "Damn, I think I made a mistake. What was I thinking?" There ain't nothing wrong with that. Now we can fix this because just like you said, somebody gonna have to you gonna do it or I'm gonna do it. Because what I'm not gonna do is keep living in this misery and not being happy and being my true authentic self. Oh, that ain't happening no more.
right. And you know what? You said the right thing. Because I tell people, I said, man, before you sign that piece of paper, man,
Mm,
hey, be sure or at least have a plan that how long you plan on staying within that. Because hey, man, that piece of paper, boy, it will like you said, it's more like
it's
a
a
trap.
yeah.
And,
It's a
and Yeah, and I've heard so many people, so many say, well, as soon as we got married, phew, hey, she changed or he changed
Yeah.
or he thinks she owned me or he think he owned me. I've heard that so many times. And then I go to smile and they said, what you smiled about? I said, because I'll never sign nobody's papers.
Listen, I've had people in their 70s
Yes.
tell me that either as they got married, they waited, whether they had, you a spouse pass away to date again, they decided to love again. I've had people in their 70s tell me that everything was fine until they got married. The minute that they got married, things went backwards. I said, "What?" I've had people in their 70s come to me and tell me about how they think that their spouse is cheating on them or this or that, and that this one spouse is asking for a divorce. Look, I said, "Excuse me?" I had to back up. I said, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but how old are you?" And then when they told
Yeah.
me about it, I said, "So you mean to tell me?" Because I'm going to be 45 this year. I said, "So you mean to tell me that this game of going back and forth like this doesn't end? You still dealing with this and you're in your 70s?" Oh, yeah. You know what? No, no, I'm good. I'm good. Mm-mm.
Yes. And you know what? It's funny because there are so many people that send me a message, and it's funny. They'll send me a message like, that's why I took Messenger off my Facebook page, because I was getting, people that knew me, that grew up with, was telling me their problem. I'm like, I don't know why you telling me your problem. I said, because I said, if you want me to give you the honest answer, I said, you if you follow it and then it don't work out, you're gonna be pissed
Exactly.
off at me. I said,
Exactly.
but it's a decision you have to make. And then, or I had one lady ask me, well, what would you do? Oh man, I said, what would I do? Oh, I wouldn't deal with it. And she said, oh, that's easy for you to say. I said, this is the reason why. I said, don't listen to me.
Mm.
Don't listen to me. I have a friend, we grew up together, man, and every 2 years he'll say, hey man, y'all you got married yet? I'm like, no. And I said, look, man, you know what? I'm more happier now. And her and I've been together for, like 13 years. We don't argue, we don't do it. We go out, we travel, we do things together. And I said, I don't have no issues. I said, when I was married, I couldn't get her to walk to the store with me hardly.
Mm. Yeah.
So and I said, I said, you knew, because well, actually he was my best man or my witness at the wedding, and he started laughing, and his wife asked me, and I'm like, why y'all want me to get married so bad? I said, man, I don't want to
You
get
want to know
married. I don't
why?
think, and I said, I don't think nobody want to marry me now. I said, not the way my attitude is. I said, don't nobody want me.
I think love is great. Listen, I think love is great. This is not
Yeah,
to try to knock any of it, but there's a different way that you can do it. You do not
right.
have to say I do. I say I do, but there's different stipulations to it as far as what I'm concerned. But
Right.
that's
And
besides the point.
most of the people I know who are they're just living together, they're not married. And when I ask them, they be like, "Oh man, we've been together 15 years, we've been together 20 years, we've been together 25." And they said, "Hey, when I was married, they said, hell man, I was fighting almost every night." And he said, "That's why it
Ex-
only lasted a short time." And I'm like, okay, it's not just me then. It's not just me. And like somebody else said, they said, well, when you're not married, you can walk out the door without owing anything. But
I know that, right?
when you are married, you gotta go to court and you got somebody telling you what you gotta give up. You
I
know,
know that's right.
and say, okay, y'all got a house, a car, and a bank account. Somebody in a black robe is gonna tell you Okay, you can't sell the home unless she until she got to agree with selling the home, and then whatever you sell it for, you got to give her half the money. You cannot sell your car because if her name is on, I'm just saying her name on everything or his name on everything, you can't sell that car unless you give them half. You cannot close out that bank account unless you give them half. Oh no, I don't. No. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy. Just the way it is. And her and I, we had that agreement when we first met. That was before we even we. She said, "Well, I ain't looking for no to marry nobody. I'm just looking for a friend." I said, "Oh shit, you the right one." Oh, excuse me. I'm like, "Oh yeah, you the right person." No, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I said. Yeah, I said I got to keep. This is a keeper here. I didn't mean to say that, man. I didn't mean that.
No, it's all. I got the parental advisor
Oh,
on there.
okay,
It's all good.
okay, okay. But yeah, man, I was like, yeah, boy, this is the right one here. And you know what? We still together
That's
13
what's
years
up.
later. And
I,
happy as hell.
I got a new album coming out. You know what it's called?
What is it?
The Things That I Know Now.
Yeah.
The things that
Yeah.
I know now. Man, the
Yeah.
things that I know now.
Yeah.
I mean, it just go right well with a glass of wine when you think about all the stuff that we just talked, all the stuff that you just said, and you just sit back. You can even have your cigar. You can have whatever. The things that I know
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So and for how she's feeling this way, and then she talking about secrecy. Okay, what is he doing secretly that makes her feel that way? You know,
That part right there is a problem.
yeah. And I said, wow, man. You know, I have never been secret about anything. I've always been open about it, and like I always say my first wife because that was, oh man, that marriage was like hell, hell, pure hell, and I just when I read this, I'm like, damn, man, he must have been reading my mind or something. you know, um, she talking about, and she said when she brings things up, he says she's ungrateful. No, it's not that she's ungrateful. It's something that's missing that he's missing.
Exactly.
You know, like she said, she encouraged him and she did these things. And he probably said, "Well, you were supposed to." And I heard that you were supposed to go just because we were together. You were supposed to do that, but no, she wasn't supposed to do it. She did it because she loved you.
Mm.
And
Mm,
some
mm,
people
mm.
get that they get that mixed up. They say, "Oh, just because we're together doesn't mean that I are supposed to do certain things for you." That makes
Mm.
sense.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah, 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 absolutely. Because see, we supposed to be on our own 2 feet. We shouldn't rely on another individual to do anything for us. If somebody does something, they do it because they want to, and that just adds in more blessings. That adds more to the situation. But you shouldn't expect somebody to do anything for you. You need
Right,
to do it for yourself.
right,
Wow.
right, right.
That's the problem too, because now want somebody else to jump in and do something for you, depleting themselves to fill you up, and then now the other person is drained because you require them to step out of their realm to make you happy. That's nonsense. I used to be like that. I used
Yeah.
to be like that.
That's something. That's something I know. I don't think I ever been like. If I have, like I said, that's why I can say this. If I have, I didn't know it. And see, that's probably he's thinking that, oh, he got his business going up, and he can just kind of like he's ignoring her, or he's ignoring her needs, and everybody have needs. I mean, even men have needs. And I ain't talking about sexual needs. I'm talking about they have needs in other areas. You know, everybody need somebody to encourage them, because the same way he got there,
Exactly.
he could wake up the next morning and all be gone.
Exactly.
And then if she walks out, he gonna say it was her fault, and no, it was his fault.
Mm. Wow. I'm gonna take a stab at it. I'm gonna take a stab at this one. This is a when I looked at this one, I said, yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. All right. So she's been in a long-term relationship for 6 years.
Mm,
Now, that's a long time to give up your life to somebody else
right,
or to share. Now, and when I say give up, that's because of the way this letter is going. Because when you're
right.
in a relationship, you shouldn't give up anything. But it seems like she's given up who she is. 6 years giving up who you are, that's a long time. This is where the resentment, I say about maybe the second year, the resentment starts kicking in. And if you don't handle it and you don't take a stance and take your power back and move on and do the things that you like to do, every year it gets worse and intensifies. So about 2 years into this, she probably woke up and realized this was a trick. And what was I seeing? Because he was acting like this from day one. She just was caught up in love. She
Yeah,
was crazy in love like Beyonce, and she just didn't see it. That's the problem. Now 6 years later, now she's really had enough.
right.
And here's a problem. She says she started tenant in her own love life, paying emotional rent while my partner owns all the space. So there you go. You just
Yep,
doing a lot. You doing a lot, and he just controls the shots. And the thing is, when are you getting a return on your investment? You're putting money into the situation. You're putting emotions into the situations. You're putting whatever you're putting into this, and you ain't getting anything back. He's just owning all the space. That's a
right.
bad. That's a bad investment right there. That's a bad relationship.
Yeah. And she also speaks about being, he's not emotionally he's emotionally unavailable. And that, like I said, that when I tell people, it's not always about the sex. It's
Right.
about just maybe, giving her a hug, giving her a kiss on the jaw, on the neck, on the top of the head, you know, just let her know that you do appreciate what she did or what he did. It goes both ways on that.
Do you know that you said it's not about the sex? Do you know that an emotional affair, when there was no sexual encounter and anything, but an emotional affair will trigger a divorce and separate because they will be more attracted to the person who's giving them the emotional attention versus the sexual.
Yes,
Like they can go home
yes,
every night. They can go home every night and handle their business with their spouse, their significant other, the person that they're supposed to be with, the person that they're legally married to. But if they go to the job and then down there somebody on the job is giving them that emotional attention that they need,
yeah,
emotional attention can trigger them to go back and leave everything that they have.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's so true. And I mean, as you get older, I always tell people that you'll learn these things. Just don't learn it too late.
Exactly, because when you're young, you thinking just gotta get it in, and that's gonna be
Yeah,
yeah, that works. That works. I say by 2 years, people start waking up from all of that.
yeah.
They start waking up from all of that and realizing that that's not everything.
And I
So
whatever business it is that he has, and he's being successful at it, what it is, he's probably not including her. He don't have to just include her in everything, but to let her know, hey, just thank her. Hey, I thank you for helping me get this far. That's what he's not doing. And
Okay,
like
now
I
now I'm
said,
gonna get in.
it goes both ways.
I'm gonna get into this next part because this that you just struck something right here that makes sense. She says when we first met, he was ambitious and tentative and made me feel safe, but somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. I became the caretaker, the planner, and holding everything together. I paid the bills, couldn't encourage him, and when he was down, even helped him start his own business. That right there is a lot. He was attentive, he was ambitious, he was everything, but somewhere along the way, the balance shifted. I became the caretaker, the planner, and the one holding everything together. You paid the bills when he couldn't, encouraged him when he was down, and even helped him start his own business. Now we're going to fast forward because you helped him start his own business. He was down, you encouraged him. Sometimes that's all that a man needs sometimes. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. And when he was down, you help pay the bills. I get that. You hold your significant other down. I don't think that that's not a bad thing. But here's this part that is a game changer. Now that he's doing, you don't hear nothing about you needing to still pay stuff, right?
Yeah.
Now that he's doing well, I've been evicted from my very home that I helped build. He's distant, he's secretive, and emotionally unavailable. When I bring it up, he says I'm ungrateful and that I should be happy. He's finally standing on his own. This lets me know right now that this man might be very successful in running his own business, and she doesn't understand what her role is because when you are an entrepreneur, when you're running your own business, it takes a lot. And I don't think a lot of people understand what it takes to run your own business until in the thick of it and they realize it. And what he might need is a woman who is going to take the role to make sure that he has everything that he needs while he's on running his own business. I'm going to take that different take, and she just doesn't understand because now he is actually successful. Is she the right person to help him fulfill his destiny? That could be the question as well.
Yeah, but she says she feel, she do feel empty. It's because, like you said, it takes a lot to run your own. It really does. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's not no 9 to 5 when you run your own business,
No, it's
and
more like a 9 to 9. I'm sorry,
yeah,
9 to 12 a.m.
right. Yeah, yes, yes. And that's why I'm saying, that it goes both ways. But somewhere down the line, he just, regardless how long it takes, if you got somebody else in your life, you got to find that time to at least spend with them and let them know that you appreciate them. I still say that.
You're right, and I say this is why a lot of people who are successful, a lot of people who are on their ride, a lot of them are single because they don't want to deal with
Exactly.
this.
Exactly. Exactly.
And here's a prime example of when two people she doesn't know who she is. This is part of it. She doesn't know who she is. She doesn't have her own thing going on, and she helped him get on her own feet, and there's a little bit of resentment there because he's doing well and she's like, well, damn, I'm helping now. What, I don't know who I am. This is when lose yourself in any type of relationship. I don't care if it's uh a romantic relationship. I don't care if it's a friendship because that can happen too. You can have friends who can drain you and you can end up losing yourself and not knowing who you are because you're so caught up into what your friends are doing or what they have going on. Both
Exactly.
party both parties have to know who they are. And when you know who you are, you know, like I said in the beginning, whose you are, and you know will not put up with, and you know what you will not go along with the plan. Today, what I have to say is listen, if we're going to be in a relationship, check this out. Everything that you see here that made you fall in love with me, Everything that I got going on here today, I'm not compromising any of that. There ain't no you need doing this. You can't podcast. You can't go here. You can't do this. And vice versa. I'm never going to tell you the same thing either. You have to accept everything that I have going on in this situation here.
You
She
know,
needed to accept.
yeah, yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I thought you was finished, and I was getting
No,
ready
no,
to
no.
say something.
You just have to accept the people for who they are in the beginning and make sure that you don't compromise. Whatever you like doing, whether it was, I want to go to the, and I'm just making this up. I want to take a walk in the park. And my thing is that every day at 5 o'clock, I take a walk in the park. If you get in a
Uh-huh.
relationship and 6 months from now, that person complaining that you taking a walk in the park, that's not the right person for you because you were doing that from the beginning. That makes you. Don't ever compromise who you are for somebody else.
That was one of my problems during my first marriage. She knew I played basketball. She knew I loved basketball. She knew I had 2 tryouts, and she knew I wanted to play. And I always said I was going to try until I got 32. If I got 32 and I didn't make it, I was done with trying. And I used to take my kids with me so she could be at home alone. And she got pissed off about it. Now that just shows you the difference. Now I'm writing. I'm writing poetry. And the first several years we went out in California, I go to open mics. Diana, she went with me, and then when then she started spending her and her daughter started spending time together. I wasn't mad at her. She wasn't mad at me. She, oh no, go ahead, going out there and hang with your buddies. I'm like, okay, so yeah, you and your daughter have a good time. And this last time we went on vacation, it was funny because her daughter said, "Oh, I'm looking for an open mic for you." And I told her, I said, "I'm not doing the open mics this time." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "I'm not doing it this time." Because they had the place that I had been going to had actually shut down. Somebody else had opened up. I said, all I need to do is get to a Japanese garden or the beach. Let me take videos. That's my poetry. And
Mm,
she was like, "Oh, okay." So we went to Manhattan Beach. I took my videos, and they said, "Well, whenever you done, and she got, yes, that's the way it is." When I said, "I'm done shooting videos and taking pictures. I got all what I need." I said, "I got so many words dancing through my mind, my head is hurting." We left. We went, and because she liked Japanese gardens, and I like Japanese garden, it worked out. Just like I
yeah.
said, a couple of weeks ago, we went down to Galveston Beach, and she knew. She just, I just got my camera, my tripod, my chair, and I just started walking. Found me a little spot, playing it down, and she just sit in the vehicle, and she was enjoying that while I was doing what I was doing. Never complained.
Listen, when you compromise who you are for a relationship, in the beginning, you might be like, okay, all right. And you bend a little bit. Okay. But you gonna end up just like Danielle. 6 years later, now you wanting to like rip somebody's face off and turns upside down because you're not being who you are and you're suppressing just to make somebody else happy and then resentment. And it's just no good. Just don't do it. Like if
Exactly.
somebody you not to do something that you love, no, we gotta do something about that. I've done it. I've had it done to me, and I've done it again, and then I've had it done to me. I'm playing that game today.
Right.
Not doing that.
And like I said, I actually had a newspaper. He was a reporter. They wanted to publish one of my poems, and it was a short story I had with the poem. They came to the house. They want to interview me. They wanted to publish it. This was my first one, and she said, "How much he's getting paid?" And he looked at me, then he looked at her, and then he said, "He's not getting paid anything." And then she said, "Oh, it's not worth my time sitting around here." She grabbed the kids and she left. So he looked at me and he said, "Sir," I said, "Nah, man, we're gonna do this interview." I said, "I already knew what the deal was, that there wasn't gonna be no pay. I just wanted to open the door," as they say.
Right. Right.
And so then afterwards, after we did the interview, he said, "Hey, can I say something?" He said, "I know I shouldn't be." He said, "But I've been through this before. I've seen this before." He said, "Man," he said, "she's not the right woman. She's not gonna back you in your writing." And I already know this. I said, "Because this is how it was with when I was playing basketball." And he said, "Okay." He said, "Don't give up writing." He said, "Because I can see that you do have talent and you can write some nice poetry." And I told him, I said, "Man, I'm not giving up my writing." I said I had to give up basketball because of I was getting older and I was getting a lot of injuries, which I knew I wouldn't be able to play all my life. I said, so now I can pick back up with my writing. And I said, later on, I hope to pick up with my music. He said, "Okay, that's the spirit." And sure enough, man, when my books came out, she talked real noise. And then one day it surprised me. She said, "I'm gonna buy 2 of your books." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Just like that. And then I said, "I thought you wasn't into what I was doing." She said, "I hear the kids talk about you all the time. So I just wanted to see what it is." I'm like, "Yeah, okay then." I said, "Here, they're yours. You can do what you want with them. If you want to take them home and roast some barbecues or, with them or
Right. Right.
marshmallows,
Right.
you can
Yeah.
do that." But she said, "So you ain't gonna give me your books this year?" I said, "Hell no, I ain't giving you my books." Yeah,
Right. Right.
you lost your mind. I said, "Way you did me? Nah, you gonna have to, if you want my book, you gotta buy my book." And then she called me all kind of names, of course, and said I went. "Yeah, you still ain't no good, and you still sorry." I said, "You say what you want." I said, "Your words cannot hurt me."
Well, that's right.
And then my mom came out the bed after she left. My mom came out the bedroom, and Mama said, "I was trying to tell you this same doggone stuff before you married." Yeah, Mom.
Mm.
She said, "I heard." She said,
I
"I
had
heard
one of those
everything."
conversations as well.
Yeah, yeah. She said, "I heard everything that was said." She thought I was asleep, but I was staring. You know how I am. I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, you right at the door when it cracked, and you listen to everything." She said, "You're my son, and I love you, and you better not ever stop writing." Just like that. I'm like, "Oh, Mom, I'm not."
Mm. Wow.
So that's why I could relate to her, because I went through a similar situation, but I was the one that was trying to do what I did, and I wasn't getting up. I didn't have the support from my first wife like I did, and so I was doing everything. That's why I try to do everything on my own, because it's hard for me to, I guess, trust people that they're gonna do the right thing. And it's kind of hard to say that, but sometimes you gotta be, you know, you have to.
Now that makes sense. I mean, uh,
The person that you trusted the most can change the way you feel about anybody else if you let it. And that's what I'm really saying. So she gets in another relationship, she's gonna be
yeah,
careful of how
yeah.
she
I
how she
I
relates
say
to somebody
that,
else.
listen, and I just might not be, you know, but I say put your trust in God before you even think
Right.
about putting your trust in man, because he'll always let you down, whether it be next week, next month, 2 days from now, 2 years from now. Everything's not going to be perfect because no man is perfect. So everybody has flaws. Things are not going to go that way. Something's going to happen. Disappointment. Yeah, we get, but to a certain, don't give up all your power by putting all your trust in man. Put your trust in God. That's the first step. And he's going to lead you and guide you to the path and help you make the right decisions when it comes to trusting the word of some of these other people. But put God first. That's the first step. And tonight's assignment is a prime example of knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, you're going to stand your ground. And there are certain things that you will put up with and certain things that you will not put up with. And that's having that great level of discernment, which comes from, your higher power. That's the first thing.
Exactly.
And getting into any type of relationship, any type of friendship, any type of job, I don't care what it is, don't compromise who you are, long as you have great values and integrity. You're not, trying anybody. You're coming from a place of love, not hate. And if you find that the other party is making you feel a certain way or making you think differently or question about who you are, then it's time for change.
Right. And even my second relationship that I was in, we was in it for 25 years. We never got married, but she was supportive of what I did. She never questioned me about what I did. And she said, "Okay, this is what you want to do, you do it. You go ahead and write. You ain't hurting nobody." And sometime I would go in the room, close the door, like I would turn on my music, and I'll just write. And then, she'll wait till I come out the room. But her and Diana has always been like in my corner when it came to me writing. They never questioned me. They didn't try to stop me from doing it. And I can say that. But like I said, my first one, oh man, if it didn't involve making some money, oh, she didn't had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that's no good. I've
Yeah,
been there. I've
exactly.
been there before. I've been there before.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you like to chime in on tonight's assignment, let us know how you feel. Please feel free to text 609-200-1098. Let me know how you feel about tonight's assignment. Listen, we just gave our opinion. We're not here to give any advice. If you think differently, maybe you thought of something differently, let us know. I think that the man has a great business going on, and maybe, you know, she can't handle the responsibility of, helping support somebody who's running their own business. 609-200-1098. Let us know how you feel. And on that note, we are going to jump into tonight's burning question. Can two people truly rebuild one has drained the other emotional equity? Burning questions. Can two people truly build after one has drained the other's emotional equity? Birdman, what do you think?
From my standpoint, hell no.
I know
I'm
that's
sorry.
I know that's right.
No, they can't. I feel like no, you can't. It's dead. It's
you
gone. And
you
I
want to
don't
know
really
what?
I don't really fault her like I as much as I fought him because they're in a relationship and it's supposed to be a 50-50 thing. And he's not doing something that he should take time out for. I don't care if it ain't number 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes each day. You should take it out, whoever it is, whichever direction it is. and let that person know they love them and they appreciate everything they done for them. That's just me, you know.
I I agree. I think after someone has drained the other person emotionally, that it's a wrap. And the only thing
Yeah,
that I have to say about that is when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. For some reason, that's just in my mind, and this could be a person too. Some of these you said some of this stuff reminds you of your situation. This burning question, I could just reflect and think about my own situation, and like after putting so much into a situation, if you're not getting a good return on your investment and you're constantly pouring into the other person and nobody is pouring into you, nobody's encouraging you, nobody's uplifting you, nobody's helping you, you're constantly the one that's giving, giving, giving. And it has nothing to do about money. We're talking about emotions. Sometimes that's just too much. And no, I don't think so either. I agree with you.
yeah, it's. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but no.
I had a family member, and there was one, and looking at this family's situation, I often compare marriage that I was in, and that was the wrong thing to do because it kept me stuck in bondage and captivity for a long time. Because I looked at a family member's marriage, how it was just like this: emotionally drained, physically drained, mentally drained. You would have thought that these two people should have been divorced. It's over, it's done, but they turned it around. So I was thinking, oh, does this what happens when you actually stick together, when you just, you know, do the right thing? Like, will my marriage actually turn around and be something like this? One thing I've learned: compare one love to another. Don't compare one relationship to another because it ain't the same.
And you know what? I understand what you're saying, but you know what really has made relationships hard to turn around is the courts. And I will always say that because I remember the time I was growing up and I heard my parents talk about, their friends and they were trying to get a divorce. The judge would not grant their divorce right away. He said, I'm going to give y'all 6 months to work on this. You cannot move out and you cannot move out. I'll give you 6 months to work on it. If you ain't killed each other and you still want a divorce, it's fine. Now, all a person got to do is go in and say, I want a divorce, and it's boom, it's over with. They used to there was a time when if one was cheating on the other, they could get a divorce. Now it's like I had an attorney one time. I said, man, my ex is cheating on me. He said, so what? My wife cheated on me, but I still, like that. He said, that's the old style. He said, you can't use that no more. And I'm like, wow,
Well,
man. Yeah. And then he said the court has made it so easy now for people to get a divorce. You can get a divorce within 72 hours. So I
well,
and I feel that way that people, oh, so we get married. Oh, so, man, I don't like this 72 hours without even giving it a chance. Irreconcilable. That's what they use. And they say, well, I just don't want to be around this person. I want out. Why? I just want out. Okay, good. You're divorced. And it used to win like that. That's why our our parents they had to stick it out because the courts held them to that marriage license. Where now, man, they can just walk off.
Well, I don't know where you know. I guess it's right after you say I do, you can get to 72
Yeah.
because after that, you can't get no 72.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know if they changed things, but uh,
California laws.
okay, there you go. Because different states got different things.
Yeah. Because
That
it's a
must
big
be that
time
good.
celebrity. That's what happened with them. I ain't mentioned no name. They got married 72 hours. She went filed for a divorce and they was granted.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Let me.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, okay. I'm gonna. Okay. Um. What have you done for me lately?
yeah.
Do.
Not only that one.
Oh,
It's a,
okay.
I wasn't even talking about her. I was talking about another one.
Mm,
I'll
um.
text it to you. I'll
Okay.
text it to you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This was a good episode. What you got going on in your world? What's going on this week?
Oh, I have nothing for the rest of the week that I know of. No, yeah. Just I've been working on new videos. The ones I shot down in Galveston a couple weeks ago. I'm starting to put them together, and each day I do a couple of them. I'm playing the bass guitar, doing stuff like that. But Sunday I have to make a choice. I don't know why this has been happening lately. That there's a reading in Florida and there's one in New York, and I have to make a decision on which one on Zoom I'm gonna do.
Mm,
And but other than that, you can, like I said, you can find my books on Amazon.com/author/Birdman313. Find me on YouTube, and that's where I'm posting. I'll be posting, still posting some of my new videos from Jamaica Beach. YouTube.com/author poet Birdman31355. You can go on Instagram where I'll start posting my video. I've been posting pictures, and I've been posting videos, but this time I'm posting videos along with the poem. And that's Instagram Birdman31355. Spotify, I haven't sent nothing to them lately, but I'm planning on sending them. I think it's gonna be this new poem that I'm been working on. I just got it edited, and I just need to put the video together. And it's on Coffee, Wine, and Words platform on the Birdman 313. And I think I actually said it all right there. Yes, that's where you can find poems and videos. Most of my stuff that I be posting during the week. Um, so that's basically about it, man.
that's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
I am gonna get caught up on some office work. I got a lot of office work to do. I got to get caught up on that stuff and relax in
Yeah.
between. That's how to relax in between, but get caught up. That's all I got going on. I don't have nothing much going on this week.
Yeah. Like I said, well, I told you I had to get a new computer, and I had to get a program, and I'm back up and running. Like I said, I've been doing. Let me see. I did what, 6 videos. I did no last week. I did 12 videos. Come to think of it, and then I'm probably do. I don't know. It's some poems. Like I said, I had one of my college friends, because I told her I listen the waves talks to me, and she said, "Well, I would like to know what the waves are saying to you." And I almost told her, "No, you really don't. No, you really don't." But I'm going to do a few videos this weekend for sure. It's like today, it was my mom's birthday. She's passed away, and I went to my music room and I'm working on a video. So I'm celebrating it, and I'm gonna dedicate it to her.
That's awesome. That's good.
And I'm gonna be playing the bass guitar in it, and I'm gonna put the words in it, and it's gonna be off of Jamaica Beach. I'm gonna have a scene from Jamaica Beach off in it.
That
So
sounds amazing.
yeah,
That's good. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I don't have much on in this world right now. Gearing up for something big. I will announce that shortly, but yeah, it's gearing up for something big. Next month is on, can't believe it. But
I
November
know.
November will be here. Like it's like I said, once October hits, it's a wrap. Y'all
Yeah,
got
yeah.
y'all got all your holiday shopping and everything together.
Yeah. Hey man, I know, man. I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do maybe two more open mics. I think. I plan. Well, my youngest son, birthday next month, and I plan on going to San Antonio, being with my two youngest sons, and then going to Austin and possibly doing an open mic there. And that will be the last one for this year, unless I go up there for new. Like we normally been celebrating New Year's together. Unless I go and celebrate New Year's together, next month will be my last live open mic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, you know, I pretty much have it mapped out the things I want to do, and I have good support, so I cannot complain about that. And like I said, man, I let her know every day how much I appreciate the things she's done for me. So, yeah,
I like
yeah.
that. That's good.
Yeah, I had to break down my old Playboy ways.
Right, right, right.
I said, okay, I'm too old. I can't be no Playboy no more. I'm gonna have to go ahead and tone it down. So
Right, right.
I just
Yeah.
said that. I want to hear you laugh, man. You know?
I'm telling you, Wednesday, that's it. I wind down, laugh, have a good time.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And I appreciate you bringing that.
Oh, no problem.
Oh,
I always tell you, just like I appreciate you having me on here, so you always hear me say, man, I appreciate you having me on here, be a part of this. And like when I go to open mics, live open mics, I always tell people about this, and I tell them how they can, you know, log in. And I need you to do this for me. Send me at least 10 business cards, because
yeah.
if I stop by in Austin, I'm because that's a I like Austin because it's very artistic and creative.
Hmm.
I am going to leave all 10 of them there in Austin, to try to get people to start, coming in.
I will put mail this week. Absolutely. I got you.
I was gonna tell you that, but every time I get ready to tell you that, we get off, and I'm like, oh, let me text it to him, and then I get to doing stuff, man. My mind is running like, it's just running all the time.
I know what you mean. I know what that creative lifestyle. I got you.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, since I got you here, let you right quick to let you know, man. Send me about 10 of them. I do have the ones you sent me, so I do plan on passing them out to people.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely. I appreciate that.
yeah,
This is a journey, and I feel like, I'm just getting started. I've been doing this for 5 years, but it's about patience and it's about waiting for what God has for you and not getting too far ahead of yourself. So far, I think we doing good. I'm
yeah,
not getting too crazy about it.
yeah. Well, that's just like there was a podcast, and I was promised a spot on it, and it kind of like it started like kind of almost like ignoring me. And I remember you and I talked about it a long time ago, and you said, well, maybe this here is preparing you for if they ever have you to come on. But there's been issues going on their end also, because it's out of Hollywood, that this or Beverly, somewhere up out there. And they,
Hmm.
these are actors who actually that I become friends with, and I've done poetry with. But I kind of like, I'm not in their league. you know so I don't even go on their podcast number one. They haven't been really having it, with all the stuff going on. And they I don't know what's going. I don't know if them having it, something happened, like, how can you put it? A lot
Oh,
of things is happening with a lot of these podcasts that speaks about certain things. They're getting
uh,
canceled.
I got you.
Yeah. So, and I just said, you know what? I'm happy where I'm at. I don't
Yeah,
have to be.
yeah.
I don't have to be with a whole lot of people. I don't have to be with all these actors and actresses and musician type people. I'm gonna let you know I'm happy right where I'm at, and I appreciate you having me on here every week.
No problem. Feeling is mutual. I appreciate you too. Could not do it without you.
Yeah. And my son Michael, if he's still on here, man, he comes on here whenever. Sometimes he forget, and I know the reason why, and he knows I love him, and he supports. And I know he be laughing afterwards. He'll say, "Dad, oh man, you and him, man, y'all." He said, "Man, I had to listen because y'all be telling the truth, and it makes me wonder, are y'all talking about me?"
You know what? That's so profound that you said that.
Yeah,
A lot of times when you think that somebody's saying something about you, that's when you know that the message is real. God will use people to get to you in certain different ways, and that's never the intention. I'll be like, dang, like, am I talking to myself? Sometimes I'll be ministering to myself.
yeah. And my youngest son, I understand why he can't come on regular. He's often he works with people that's off into politics. So I understand why he can't come on, because I mean, like, his schedule, man, it's like he might be on the road now going somewhere out of town. I mean,
Hmm.
all the stuff that they be doing, and like, I told him, hey man, if you're not gonna be, there for your birthday, let me know. And he said, okay. So, because those two are they're the only two that I go visit on their birthdays, and or even New Year's. So I mean, even though there's others, these are the only two that I really appreciate, because they stick by me, and they don't ask for nothing. Yes, yes. So
All right. Well, we made it through tonight, and I see we have a little bit of a delay, might be some little difficulties, but I see that that's creeping up towards the end here.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go here, and I will talk to you next week, same place, same time.
Okay. You have a good one.
Take care. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, you too.
Okay. Take care now.
Yep.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have that was our Bourbon 3. We are getting ready to close. That's been coming up. I do apologize. Thank you all for continuously hanging out there with me. Us out there. I appreciate that. If you want to learn more about debt-free living, on debt-free living from 4 different realms: mental, physical, and financial. First, I believe you should focus on the spiritual aspect. Understand and know who you are, what your purpose is, you are going. Because if you don't know where you're coming from, going. So I think it's very important. Go back a little bit. Find out about what you've been through, how you there, what happened. Focus on that. Know who your purpose is. There. Focus on the mental. After you've gained all of that knowledge and understanding, you dug back. Whatever you had to do, focus on that mental. What happened when I was a child sometimes. I know it sounds so interesting, but sometimes we got to take it back there. What happened when I was in that relationship? Showing up mentally, some roadblocks. What was I thinking that I want to change? Recognizing that some things were right, some things were wrong. This didn't work. Focus on changing aspect. When you combine the spiritual and the mental, it produces something powerful for you to be able to show up in the realm differently. So profound. I truly believe this process. Again, I don't know who I'm speaking to. I'm only speaking from experience. But then I started to show up in the physical realm differently. Once I went back and I realized that that's wrong. I can't believe me that. That's not right. Are you serious? I started to show up different in the physical, making better food choices, making better eating choices. So much goes into it. And this is just only not even scraping the surface. Focus on those 3 things: spiritual, physical. The last one, financial, it's just going to come so naturally. You're just going to become so on point with it. It's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. I feel personally, if I don't focus on these 4 realms, that I'm doing something. Because I am. If I decided to not focus on these things and go through life the way I was before, you didn't just hang it up. It's impossible to see it. You can't unsee it, and you don't want to go back. Anybody who is interested in learning to live debt-free, meaning that you want to pay for yourself, you don't want to borrow anything from anybody. You swipe your credit, you pay the entire balance. You purchase a car, means you pay the entire balance. That means you make a decision not to get caught up into extra payments. Choose to rent versus buying a home if you know you really can't afford it. I mean, on and on and on. Head on over to LaronGaines.com if you want more information. You can also sign up for my free 15-minute consultation. Apply to see if you qualify for the coaching sessions. I focus on one-on-one coaching. Also do group sessions as well. I'm excited about the new format for my live session, teaching financial literacy. Open format for you to go ahead and ask questions that you have about the specific topics that we go over. Again, that information is available at LarenGaines.com. And on that note, I want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you out there for hanging with me. There's a lot of great things that are coming. A lot of great things. I'm looking forward to what 2026 is going to bring. More information, more topics, more master classes. It's a lot of work, but it definitely is worth it. This is what I'm here to do. Learn, you want to grow together. Stick around. On all of my social media platforms. I am on Facebook. I am on Instagram. I am on X, YouTube, TikTok, D Live, Twitch, Daily Motion. Check me out. You never know what you're going to get. Check out all of the platforms. See what works best for you. And on that note, thank you so much, and I will see you when I see you. Take care. Good night.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's a wrap on today's episode of the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines, where growth is always on the menu, and every pour reveals a little more truth. The conversation doesn't end here. Have something to say? Want to weigh in on tonight's burning questions? Text us anytime at the official 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines hotline at 609-200-1098. Stay plugged in across all social media platforms at Laren Gaines. We're live and in the conversation on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, D Live, Twitch, and Daily Motion. Prefer to listen on the go? The audio version is streaming on most major podcast outlets. Until we meet again, take what you've learned, sip slow, speak truth, and remember, transformation starts within. Powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network.